A lot of people struggle with just getting started with their weight loss journey, whatever their journey is for progress that they are wanting to reach. Just taking that first step is usually the hardest thing. Once you've taken that first step, then it's a matter of, okay, now I'm building the habits. Now I can, keep being consistent with this to reach that goal that I'm trying to reach. But that first leap of faith to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to trust in it is usually the hardest, because you are still unsure, like, is this even the right thing? Am I really committing to the right thing right now? Like, is this even going to be worth it in the long run? To avoid all that, what you want to do in the beginning is sit down and be realistic and honest with yourself about what you want to accomplish in the long term, and also what you need to do right now in the short term to build up to that long-term goal. If you only focus on the long-term goal, you're going to end up being disappointed, because you're not going to have a realistic idea of the rate of progress that you're going to be making. You're going to be making progress at, and you won't be able to stay consistent, because you'll constantly be thinking of only the future and not what you can do right now, not being present. So you need to think of both things. So when you're doing that, let's say for your exercise, if right now you are not doing any exercise whatsoever, don't set out to start training 6 times a week right away. Maybe that's your end goal, and that's something to keep in mind. You're like, okay, by the end of going through this process, and what I want to be able to sustain after I've lost the weight is I want to be able to sustain 5 days in the gym or 6 days in the gym. That's cool, keep that in mind, but realize that maybe right now you're not going to be able to do that. So think, okay, maybe right now I can commit to 3 days of working out at the gym, and then slowly work my way up to 5 days at the gym, based on how I am being consistent, because consistency is the most important thing. If you can't be consistent with 5 days a week, don't commit to 5 days a week, because you won't be able to be consistent with it. So be honest with yourself first. Look at your schedule, look at your lifestyle, and think, what can I really make fit into my lifestyle? Not how can I make my life revolve around this journey. So make sure you keep that mindset. And then when it comes to your nutrition, make sure that you are not trying to go for some quick fix, some short-term, Band-Aid solution. Because when you do that, you end up shooting yourself in the foot, because by the end, let's say you are trying to lose 20 pounds. When you've lost the 20 pounds, what's going to happen? You're going to be like, oh, okay, thank God I'm done with that diet. Now I'm going to go back to eating how I want to. And then when you do that, you end up gaining the weight back, and then maybe some more, and then you end up right back to where you are right now at square one, just trying to make that first step again. So to avoid all that, you want to think of, how can I build habits? Small habits. Start small, build up. You don't build a building by starting from the top down. You have to build a foundation first. So you need to build up the habits to be able to create the consistency that you need to be able to make more and more bigger changes. Small changes add up. They really do matter. A lifestyle change is much more important than having some sort of short-term quick fix that isn't going to help you in the long term. It's actually going to make it harder for you. So if you think of it this way, I love analogies. So let's say you have an open wound and you put a Band-Aid over it. What's going to happen? It's not going to heal properly. And then you're going to take the Band-Aid off. And you're like, oh shit, still need stitches. And you have to go through that process. And so you just took longer for the recovery. That's what you're doing when you start a quick fix diet. Let's say you were like, okay, I really love carbs, but I'm gonna totally cut them out so I can lose the weight. What you're really doing is just cutting out calories, which a calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight. That's it. So no matter what diet you're following, calories matter most in terms of weight loss. So let's say, like I said, let's say you decide, you're like, I'm going to cut out carbs. Even though I love carbs, I'm going to cut them out just for the sake of losing these 20 pounds. What's going to happen is, once you've lost those 20 pounds, you're going to eat all the foods, and you're going to be stuck back at square one and be like, oh shit, this Band-Aid solution that I just used was just covering up the problem, and now my problem is worse, and I still have to seek out another solution to fix the problem I had, which was I needed to lose my excess weight, and now I still need to find a solution to do that, because the method that I used wasn't something that I could sustain. So you really need to think about long-term sustainability is the most important thing. So think of how you can build up to that and be honest with yourself every step of the way. Be objective as possible. And if you still are like, starting is still really hard for me, I'm just still, spinning my wheels and I really can't be very objective with it, then that's where hiring a coach is going to come in handy, having the accountability. That's what really helped me in the beginning. And for all of my clients, like I know that's something that's what I want to help them with, is to be able to make the process that much more simple and smoother so that you don't have to spin your wheels. So if you are in need of coaching, I am an online coach, like I said. So if you want to schedule a call with me, you can click the link in my bio, and then that way we can go over your goals, your experience, and how I can help you and go from there.